Hello all and good morning to all of those that are watching this that are in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. It is currently going on 10:30 a.m. So, getting back to this video. So, the deal that almost was the guy that I actually made the previous two deals with for the exotic USA SL drive and the Electro-Harmonix memory toy mini pedal. He had another guitar up for trade, and he was looking for a semi-acoustic or semi-hollow body electric guitar. So this deal initially was going to be my Epiphone Sheridan with case plus my Epiphone SGJ with Gibson gig bag for the guitar in question. Now, he trusted me enough, and I trusted him enough in regards that he asked me if we could do a let's try it on each other's kind of systems kind of thing or setups thing. And I said, okay. I mean, not like the guy could run away from me because he only lives a street up from me anyways. And well, I'm holding on to his guitar, which is about the equivalent value to what it would have been in the trade. But as much as he did like the Sheridan, he did not enjoy the Gibson SGJ, so basically that in turn kiboshed the deal. And so he will be showing up in probably about 2 hours to pick it up. But I don't think he minds me doing this, because it has no relevance to him, and nor am I claiming it to be my instrument. But it could have been my instrument. So I figured, why not do a video showing and even playing a little bit what the trade would have been if he actually would have liked the SGJ and been all for the trade. Now, I currently have my strap on it still, so after I'm done this, I'll be taking the strap back off of it and putting it back into the case he brought it here with. So, here is the guitar that I could have possibly had in trade. And again, down in the comments section, don't be afraid to tell me if you thought it would have been a fair deal or a unfair deal, or even what you thought of the guitar when I finally show it here and do some sound samples with it. So with that said, here we go. So, in case you've seen the headstock pop up, if not, yeah, it looks awfully like something, doesn't it? Really beautiful and figured top, as you can see here, as the shine reflects over it. This was really, I was really impressed with this, and again, there is going to be the first giveaway. Also of note here, while I have the guitar in this position, this guitar has a nice soft V-neck to it, which made it really awesome to play. So, it's obviously not a Gibson, but That's right. The deal would have been for a 1990 Greco EG 550. So, yeah. So, yeah. People that are purists probably would be like, it's not a Gibson. Well, no, it's not a Gibson. Does it come close to a Gibson? Well, for the most part, after me playing my friend's two Gibsons, the 2017 Standard T, I think it was, and the other one, which he has, is the limited edition Long and McQuaid R8 Maple Burst Les Paul Standard, which is a beautiful guitar. And they go for about $4,000 on the used market. And it's like, oh. Oddly enough, there's a second one on Reverb of those, number 48 of the 100 that were produced for Long and McQuaid back in 2008. And it's like, yeah, I'd be pretty tempted to buy that, even though I'm not exactly a Gibson-esque person. That said, just to show, since this camera is now focusing better, so this was the Lemon Drop. There's quite a few of these that are lugging around on eBay. And these guitars are going for, like, I believe it's $1,000. With shipping, they're going for about 1,000 to 1,200 Canadian right now. So it's like, it was like a big thing when it was like, okay, I thought that maybe I would have the ability to pull two guitars for one equal value for equal value thing, plus being what he needed or wanted, which unfortunately he did like the Epiphone. He did bond with the Epiphone, so it was unfortunate that he didn't like the SG, because the SG would have been just enough to make this an even for even deal. Big thing about this was, again, a lot of these were designed with a semi-set neck build style, and while looking at it, you wouldn't know that it wasn't a set neck, but it actually is long tendon fed into the chamber of the body. And as somebody has explained online, there's two screws that go into the long tendon here, joining it to the body, and then again a third screw in the back to further connect it to the body. Does this make a difference in the sustain of it not sustaining well? Again, as various people on YouTube and otherwise have proven, bolt-on necks can have the same sustainability as a set neck or neck through construction, and this does sustain pretty good. In regards to what can I compare this to, well, again, me playing my friend's two Les Paul Standards, the one Custom Shop R8 and the one T Series from 2017 that has a AAA flame top. Comparison wise to those guitars that are, the only one that actually this would be close to would be the R8 Custom Shop limited edition Maple Burst, which I will say, weight wise, this guitar is actually a little bit heavier than that guitar. if I really had to put my hands on it, I would not be surprised if this is a 10 to 11 pound guitar, which normally I had problems with in the past playing because of my back, but because of losing weight and such, I'm able to actually handle it not too badly with this smaller strap. Again, the neck has a soft V profile that you can kind of see when I'm letting the light reflect off the back of the neck. It's the kind of thing that's on the Diamond guitars. I believe somebody on YouTube, one of the fairly popular YouTubers who had an Eastman 59, said also as well that their Eastman LP style guitar came with a soft V-neck. And again, there's a lot of people that think like, oh, it's uncomfortable. No, actually a V-neck on a guitar is actually probably one of the most realistic things that they should have, and I'm actually surprised Gibson themselves haven't actually done so themselves, because when you have a V neck profile, let's see if I can actually show it. It actually contours to your hand better, and you can actually get over the neck more. Getting back to what I was saying about comparing it to my previously owned LP style guitars and the two of my friends that have played, two of my friends that he's allowed me to play so he can kind of hear it a bit better, because he's not that good of a player still, even though he's been playing for just over a year. He's more in the collector vein at this point in time and just learning a little bit. So, where would I put this on for a quality level? If you've looked over my channel, you would have seen that I had a 2012 Agile AL3010, which I basically said was to the same standards of what I felt a Les Paul standard is. I will say it's around those lines. It's not too far off. It would be probably in the, if this was actually made in a true set neck, I would say that it probably would be definitely right up there with a Les Paul standard. Not exactly a Les Paul standard, but as someone in a previous review of one of these guitars mentioned, this definitely would be Gibson Les Paul standard on a budget territory, especially when you're talking that these on the used market with uncovered pickups can be had probably as an American consumer buying one of these used on eBay can probably pick one up for probably about 700 US. So I mean, you compare 700 US to what, about $21 to $3,000 for a Les Paul standard that has a very similar top to this. Like, it's a perfect two-piece top with a beautiful flamed top on it. Like, I can't see that there's any multi-piece in the body or the neck. The neck does appear to be mahogany. And like I said, again, the big thing with this though is it has this big deep dish carve. If you're a big fan of a deep dish carved top on an LP style guitar, you can see it in the light how big of a right there with the reflection up near my mouth, you can see how big of a deep curve there is into this top, and it's awesome. I have to admit, I would like an LP style guitar with a curved top like this. It would be awesome. With that said, I've already been going on 15 minutes for this video. Guy will be showing up soon, so let's plug it into the Bugera and give it some sounds and see how it goes. Pickups in this sound like a nice mid-ranged. They sound like a nice mid-rangey and in lines like mid-range gained pickup. So it's not too hot, it's not too weak, it's just kind of right in that perfect thing. They're Alnico. I don't know if they're Alnico V's, I don't know if they're Alnico 2s, but they are a rather nice sounding pickup. Playability of the neck, I believe it is a rosewood fingerboard. My only kind of real big knock on this guitar, per se, the narrow frets. I feel like the frets are a little narrow and a little low. The setup on this guitar is nice and low to the fretboard and that, so that's awesome and pretty comfortable. Beyond that, I really have no complaints about this guitar, and it would have been a nice acquisition. But as the saying goes, sometimes you're not destined to get something or have something because you're destined to get something else. So I'm just going to chalk up this deal not working out to that I'm going to be getting something at some point in time in the future that will be LP style, that will be maybe equivalent level or maybe higher, maybe a bit lower, but this unfortunately will not be the Les Paul style guitar that I would like to have in my collection of instruments to play through. That said, let's flip the standby switch and try to wrap this video up in under 25 minutes, which is 7 more minutes. Here we go. The guitar, as far as I know, is in standard tuning. I actually now have, through the effects loop of the Bugera G5 Infinium, the Electro Harmonix E Nano Small Stone, and the Memory Toy E Nano in the loop. So I now have a phase and a delay combined with the onboard reverb that you've heard previously, and of course just the regular channels going through the Harley Benton G212 non-Celestian guitar cabinet. So here we go. Difficulty, but included because that is what you do for real-time video. So, clean channel half volume, tone at half or in the middle position of tone, and EQ all at noon, and the morph control is in the middle. I've only played a little bit with the morph control on this so far, and it's been kind of So neck position, full volume, full tone on all pots. And let's just kind of go from there, shall we? unfortunately, there is no appearance by my memory toy because somehow it has ran out of juice. So I was only able to use the small stone on these playing parts. So with that said, it's about 11 minutes more of playing time to give some sound samples through what I have the Bulgara G5 on, and with this guitar it sounded pretty damn good. Final conclusion and opinion, really nice guitar. If you like the idea of an LP style guitar, don't want to dish out the money, and also like the idea of a nice V-neck to be more comfortable to play with. As you've seen, I didn't have very many problems with actually doing some chords and notes on this neck. I found it very comfortable, even though I'm not a super big fan of binding. I did find this guitar very nice to play. It seems to sound very nice, and again, I encourage anyone that doesn't have the money to get a Gibson or a Eastwood, I think it is, Eastwood or Eastman, LP59 or 59er, I think they call it, which is about I think it's about $2,000 US and around $2,500 Canadian for one. These would be good things to snatch up off of eBay, especially if you'd like to have a closer to Gibson quality of an instrument to be able to mod on, put different pickups in and so forth, without worrying about ruining any kind of value or whatnot you might actually consider with the Gibson name on the headstock. But Greco, Gibson, Epiphone, at the end of the day, it's wood, it's metal, some metal strings, some electronics. It's all the same thing. So what does it matter if it's a $300 instrument or a $30,000 instrument? As long as it gives you the confidence to play and gives you the sound that you're looking for, it really doesn't matter that you go with a cheaper instrument versus a super expensive one. Yeah, really. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, it's you yourself, and as others have said, the tone is in your fingers. Simple as that. So, hope you enjoyed my little non-trade video that I did here. Again, it was nice while I had time with this guitar to give it a view and experience with it. Just one more last thing. It is actually the older style bridge system on this. Like the older traditional Gibsons, not the collar into the body. So with that said, I'm going to call this one an end, folks. She almost was. Take care, and I will catch you later. Bye for now.